What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. I'm
Okay.
Will. That's Casino over
How's
there.
it going over there?
What's going on, Casino?
I'm good. I'm good. Insurance companies blow, specialty pharmacies blow, doctors' offices blow because nobody can get on the same page. Everybody wants to have the other person do it.
Yeah. But today, Casino, especially with all this energy you have now, we're starting with
I'm all hyped up.
we're starting with Casino's Corner. Usually we end with it, but now we're starting with it. You wanted to talk about the MLB playoffs that have started and the currently running WNBA playoffs.
WNBA.
So the floor is yours, Casino.
All right. Well, first let's start off with the WNBA. So it has been the first round was over. We finished that. We have moved on. We kind of talked about the first round. Caitlin Clark has been eliminated. But it is also should know that very close to having the previous two-time champions here, the Las Vegas Aces. They lost again to Liberty, 88-84. Sorry, everybody. So now they are down in the series 2-0 with it is a best of 5 when it comes to this. So we'll see. The Aces can be eliminated. Like I said, it was going to come down to whoever wins this series with either the Liberty or the Aces. The Lynx, I said, have a possibility of going as well and winning. They currently are tied with the Sun, which they are both tied a game apiece. Both game threes are tomorrow. One is at 4:30 p.m. I know we're releasing today here on Thursday, so it'll be Friday at 4:30 p.m. You have the Lynx versus Sun, and you also have Liberty versus the Aces at 6:30 as well. If you wanted to catch those games, we'll see if the Aces can pull back a comeback, but I don't think they will. I think the Liberty, this is their season. They've been on the heels of the Aces the last two during their championship runs. So I think it's finally the Liberty going to be able to take it this year. So with that, moving over to the MLB, we've already have a couple series that have already just ended. You had your wild card matchups with both the Detroit Tigers versus the Astros, and the Tigers have won that series and moved on. They won both of their games against the Astros, which I'm very happy about. Congratulations. And then we also have the Royals have moved on as well, beating the Orioles. So here to Kansas City. It's nice seeing some fresh teams in there. Detroit, the Kansas City Royals doing their job as well. The Padres did beat the Braves as well in 2 games. They finished that off and polished that off last night. The only remaining wild card games that we have left are going to be the Brewers versus the Mets. The Mets won game 1 with an 8-4 victory, so pretty handedly. And then this last one, you had the Brewers beating the Mets 5-3. The last wild card matchup will be to see who advances. Will be today at 4:08. So whenever this airs, it'll probably be going on. If you wanted to check out the Mets Brewers, which would lead to the division series. Where we would have the Detroit Tigers taking on the Cleveland Guardians and the Royals taking on the Yankees, as well as the one I'm excited for, the Padres versus the Dodgers. And yet your Phillies, I'm sure you're happy that the Mets Brewers are taking plenty of time. Your Phillies await the winner of today, which, again, I like seeing you have the Tigers, the Guardians, the Phillies, the Royals, and the Padres. Literally every single team that's left outside of the Yankees and Dodgers, I would be okay with winning the World Series. So I have nothing against the Guardians, the Tigers, the Royals, or the Phillies. So I would, or the Padres. I would love it. And the only thing I have against the Padres is they still have Manny Machado. Can't stand him. He's a dirty player. You know my feelings on him. Yes. I would be a diehard Padres fan right now if that wasn't the case. So that's what we got going on with that.
Who do you have for the World Series, Casino?
Oh, I've already told you. If it's not a Yankees Dodgers World Series, what are we even doing in fucking baseball, man? both of these teams spent so much money in the offseason already on their very expensive rosters that I mean, the Dodgers have probably by the end of his career the greatest player of all time with Shohei Ohtani, who's on a recovery year. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. And then the Yankees are just absolutely I mean, Aaron Judge is having a hell of a year. If it wasn't for Shohei and all of his home runs, Judge would have the most home runs. Like, if it's not these two teams in the World Series duking it out, which I would hate, by the way, I would absolutely be disgusted. My two least favorite teams in baseball. Um, yeah, I'm please, just no, just don't want it. Just don't want it. Um, but yeah, man, I'm really excited. I hope it's one of those other teams to advance, any of those other six, but we shall see. We shall see.
And then,
That's what I have for. I just kind of want to touch up on those playoff spots because we got a big tall order today with college and NFL. So unless you have anything else to add, that's just my quick casinos corner.
no, I watched the Braves Padres game last night. It was good.
Yeah, I thought the Braves were going to come back.
So did I. I thought so too. But Padres Dodgers, that'll be a nice little second round
Oh, I
matchup.
can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Uh,
The Padres have stopped the Dodgers in recent years, so I really want to see the Padres stomp the Dodgers again. That would just make me. I would cry. I would cry.
and that has been another rousing edition of Casino's Corner.
I'm aroused.
But we were gonna do power rankings today, but we're gonna save those for Tuesday's show because we have so much shit to talk about today in a limited amount of time. So let's just move right on
And the
to
reason we have a limited amount of time is because my whole intro.
yeah.
I had to stay on the phone with these people forever.
So
Ugh.
let's instead just move to college football week 6 casino. We have Syracuse at number 25 ranked UNLV
Woo-hoo!
tomorrow. Talk about
The
this
Friday
casino.
night game. I'm really excited about this game. Obviously, I want to see UNLV continue. They actually have really good odds and are favored to win pretty heavily. I Syracuse has a really bad run defense. They're in like the 100 something. I saw it not too long ago. When I was looking into the game. UNLV is a running based team, whether it's with their quarterback or their great backs that they have. Yes, you have Sluka still technically has the most runs or most rushing yards for UNLV. And then UNLV had that other running back leave, but that was just due to not getting enough playing time. But I really like UNLV. This Syracuse offense, they like to sling the football. They are a passing team. However, the UNLV secondary, which was really bad last year, which is what lost them the Mountain West Championship last year, what lost them the bowl game against Kansas. I've talked about it. They have upped their backfield with their safeties and corners. So I really think, I mean, hell, last game they hadn't beaten Fresno State since I think it said 2017. Like it was something insane. I think it was 2017 the last time they beat Fresno State, and they had 4 interceptions on them. So I really do think that this UNLV defense and offense will handle it. I'm sure we're going to be run heavy. I'm sure they will also be really good with the secondary, watching the schemes because they know what they know what Syracuse does. They throw the football. So I'm excited for the game. I think UNLV is going to go 5-0. Obviously, there's always potential for upset, but I think where Barry Odom has this team mentally, they're a super dangerous team. This is not me saying, I've heard college football analysts say, I forget which ones, there was multiple actually, saying that the UNLV defense is surprising, that they should be ranked much higher than where they are, that they have been turning a lot of heads on the college football landscape. So, yeah, excited for that game. I got UNLV.
That was an
I got UNLV by 10.
dang. That was an extended Casino's Corner.
Sorry.
Extended Casino's
I'm
Corner.
excited for it. I mean, UNLV is ranked for the first time ever. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
huge. It's huge. I mean, and we have the potential, like I said, potential in 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, whenever it is, UNLV Boise State. Only loss on Boise State's resume could be Oregon, and then UNLV could be undefeated. Like that's a top 15 matchup, but for both of them, like that would be insane. I can't wait. I want it to happen.
Yeah. Now we can talk about the rest of college football casino. Not Not really any games standing out this week. I think Michigan, Washington will be good. I think Washington could actually beat them because, again, we've been talking for weeks about how little
Um,
faith I have in Michigan. And right now, the probability is that Washington wins 55-45 against Michigan. And that's with Michigan
right.
ranked 10. So I
I
just
I
don't
am I am
know
excited to
who's up
see the
with who.
Texas A&M versus Missouri game, just because Texas A&M is leading that conference right now, and I just against you have the Bama, you have Texas. I want to see them stay atop of them. I know it's not going to stay that way, but I want to see them stay at the top of that conference for as long as they possibly can. I think that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. I think also Auburn, Georgia has potential to be good, but I still think Georgia blows them out. And then other than that, kind of a down week in terms of like
I would
marquee
agree.
matchups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's really nothing fun. I mean, you got Florida State, Clemson, whoop de doo. Like that's not. I actually might want to watch Minnesota USC. I think that'll be a fun game,
Yeah.
personally.
Maybe Iowa, Ohio State, maybe Indiana
Arkansas,
Northwestern.
Tennessee, potentially.
Yeah. So there's
You
some
know,
potential,
yeah, there's some
but
potential, but nothing that I'm like really stoked about. No, outside of
no.
obviously UNLV being ranked for the first time and playing on Friday night with a number by their name. That's so cool.
Yeah. But then next week is where we got all the big games. We got
Oh
Ohio
yeah,
State, Oregon, we have Penn
Texas,
State, USC,
yeah,
Texas,
Texas,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for some of these. Yeah, Ole Miss, LSU, Oregon, Ohio State. As you said, like it's gonna be a good one.
But now, Casino, let's get into the NFL picks update from last week.
Yeah,
And
how'd I do? How'd I do?
Casino won the week. He
Uh
won
huh.
10-8. So
Woohoo!
I picked 8 games right. Casino picked 10 games right. We didn't hit any
And that's
of
pretty good
our
with considering how close a lot of those games were.
yes, and we didn't hit any of our upset picks or any of our best games or anything like that. We almost did. Speaking of almost, Casino, when it came to picking the scores of the games in the Saints Eagles game, you missed it by 1 point.
Ha!
1 point. And then in the
What did I
Bengals,
say? It was gonna be 34-16?
no, you said it was going to be 24 or 27-24. So wait, did I have that right? You had,
In which
let me,
game?
and hold on. Week 4. Let me pull this
No.
up.
Oh, the Saints Falcons game.
Or the Saint yes, I'm sorry. The
You said Saints
Saints,
Eagles. That's where I was
yeah.
very confused.
No, no, Saints Falcons game, it was 26-24. You picked it to be 27-24.
Whew.
So, real close. And then the other one you almost picked dead on was uh it was the Bengals Panthers you said was gonna be 32-24, ended up being 34-24. So, you would have the
Look at me.
Saints Falcons, you would have picked the wrong team, so it wouldn't have counted, but you would have picked Falcon if you would have picked Bengals, uh, Panthers, you would have given 2 more picks or 2 more points to the Bengals, you would have nailed it.
Woof.
Spot on. That is awesome. But yeah, as far as this week goes, Casino, we are entering the week where you have 33, I have 32. So this week,
Yeah, buddy.
very important, very important. And as always, we do marquee, mid, and miserable matchups. The first we always do is the marquee matchups, the big games of the week, at least on paper. And we are starting with tonight's game, Thursday night football. The Buccaneers at the Falcons.
Yeah, and like I
Buccaneers
said,
three
I
and
you
one,
you sent me this list, and I agreed with everything except for one of the miserable. I think is
which
a
I
mid.
did. I did move to the mid. I
Yeah,
agreed with you. So yeah, we are lockstep with these ones this week. The 3-1 Buccaneers traveling to the 2-2 Falcons tonight, Thursday night football. Who you
oops.
got, Casino?
I'm going Bucks. I think this is a must win for the Falcons, but until I see Baker, I mean, I know he dropped it against the Broncos, but man, I still like the Bucks, man. I like the Bucks. I like everything they're doing. I think we were wrong. I know we were wavering on the Falcons or the Bucks taking that division. Um, but the Bucks just look so much better than the Falcons. You kind of alluded to it last week where the Falcons just can't seem to hit their stride. They're very streaky throughout the whole game. The Bucks,
Yes.
yeah, the Bucks dropped their one game, but then they came out. I mean, again, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. They got their dicks kicked into the Broncos. Whatever, it happens. But they beat the Commanders, who looks like a playoff team. They beat the Lions, who are, my opinion, definitely a playoff team. And then they beat the Eagles, who are expected to win that division. So I like the Bucks. I'm all for it. I'm going to take the Bucks, even though they're on the road in Atlanta.
And what's the score, Casino?
Um, 24-20.
Ooh, very close to what I
Well, I mean,
picked.
it's in division. These are the two best teams in the division. I'm going to give some points to the road team, but I think it's going to be a late push for. This is how I think it's going to be a late push for the Falcons, and then they're going to try to get the ball back, but just not get enough time.
Yeah, I also picked the Buccaneers. I picked them to win 24-21. So we're very close to that. Pretty much for what you just said. I mean, on paper, these teams are pretty much dead even on offense and defensive rankings the entire season. Only thing, like you said, is I think who the Bucks have beaten and played is much more impressive than the Falcons. So also, you can just see in almost every game the Falcons play, it feels like they're trying to give the game away. I mean, how many times
Yeah.
did they have a chance to score in that Chiefs game and just could not do it up? Also, Baker Mayfield maybe had
I
his
mean,
best
the
game last
Falcons are
week.
favored in this game by 2.
Yeah, which I don't understand. I thought coming into this season the Falcons defense would be much better than they are. But the Bucks defense has actually been slightly better than the Falcons defense. Again, I think on paper they're ranked 18th and 19th where the Buccaneers are ranked 18th, but the competition they've played has been better than the Falcons. So for them to still be ranked that high, playing the likes of, Patrick Mahomes, and even though the Eagles offense was injured, that still has the potential to be a top 5 offense, and they basically shut Barkley down. So Mayfield on the season, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 70% completion. He right with Sam Darnold might be the best quarterbacks in the league at the moment. So yeah, I'm going with the hot hand. I'm going with the Bake Show. We're both picking the Buccaneers to take a commanding lead in the surprisingly competitive NFC South. Next up, Casino, our marquee matchup, Jets at Vikings. And the Jets are 2-2. The Vikings still undefeated, along with the Chiefs, the last 2 undefeated teams in the league. Story of this game is basically going to be the Vikings have a top 10 offense in total offense. The Jets have the top 3 defense in the league. Vikings 10th in the league in passing, 14th in the league in rushing. Jets, on the other hand, 27th in the league in rushing, 18th in the league in passing. So, who you got, Casino? Are Minnesota Vikings or the nation's New York Jets?
Minnesota Vikings, which is blowing my mind that the Vikings are only 2.5. They are only
That's
two and a half
crazy.
point favorites against the Jets. Again, we talked about it. That game against the Broncos Jets last week was one of the worst games I've seen in the NFL probably in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that was
So
brutal.
it's mind blowing to me that the Vikings are only 2.5. Especially, I mean that the 2.5 is just being at home. Like
Yeah.
that
So basically it's a pick 'em.
it's damn
Well,
near a
no.
pick 'em.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
also, this is one of those weird. This one is the one that takes place in Germany, right? It's
I mean,
uh,
that's true. That's fair. That's fine. I get that. But I mean, that is a big travel. But no, come on, man. No, it's gonna be Vikings all day. I mean, you're right. I forgot that
or no,
this
this
one
one's in London.
London,
London.
but this is a 6:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 a.m. Eastern game. I forgot that. Thank you for reminding me on that. So it is not a home game. Um, but yeah, Vikings. I mean, look at what they've been doing without some of their players, their main players. Like they're still out. TJ Hawkinson, he's still out, right? They also he's still out. They also have forgetting his one of the receivers coming back that wasn't fully healthy. Justin Jefferson just looks like a beast. I mean, that last touchdown that he got last week was just so funny. As he caught it, he just like throws the guy off him. He's just like, get the fuck off me, man. I'm Justin Jefferson. Let's go. Again, why he also gets commercials, just like Kittle.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings. I'm picking the score here. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be. I'm going to say 31-10.
Ooh.
I mean,
Finally, Casino's finally on the Vikings bandwagon.
I told what did I say? I said last week if the Vikings were able to, absolutely dominate, who I thought was supposed to be the better team in my opinion, with Jordan Love and the Packers, that I mean they made them look bad. Yes, they almost came back and won, but that aside, the Packers are still a good team. The Jets aren't a good team. I mean, they're one interception away from Aaron Rodgers is like losing his fucking mind. So yeah, no, I think this is going to be an absolute whomping. This is going to be my blowout of the week.
Ooh. And you know what? I said that but I also picked it to be my blowout of the week.
I love it.
Uh,
I
I
just
picked
don't trust the Jets at all.
but my blowout of the week is much closer than yours. I put 28-17.
How's that a
So,
blowout?
well, of all my games, that was the biggest disparity in terms of points.
Okay.
So I picked, Vikings. I just think are on a hot streak right now. Now Rodgers is playing well. He has
Yeah.
64% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
But you still have to command your offense, and like this team's just not put together. There's something off about them. We know it. Let's move it
Well,
on.
I really think them being 27th ranked in the league in rushing is the big issue. I mean, Brees Hall was going top 5 in all fantasy drafts because he was projected to be, this amazing running back behind this Jets offense that is now going to be more balanced with Aaron Rodgers. And for some reason, they still just can't figure it out. And they're still, their receiving back in Allen has been doing fantastic, but Brees Hall, for some reason, only effective in the passing game out of the backfield, not as just a straight up running back. So that's been an issue. But then you look at the Vikings. I mean, Sam Darnold, 68.9% completion percentage, 932 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That is absolutely insane. Justin Jefferson's killing it. Aaron Jones is killing it. This Vikings team, again, they need to shore up their defense a little bit, but a top 10 passing offense, top 10 overall defense.
Yeah,
I am all aboard the Vikings bandwagon casino from the beginning.
I
I've
know you
heard
are. Shut
I've
it.
heard multiple talking heads be like, nobody had the Vikings. Nobody had the Vikings before. And then I say, how dare you? How dare you? But next up, Casino, our last of the marquee matchups, only 3 marquee matchups this week, and
I would
that
agree.
is Bills 3-1 at 3-1 Texans. Who you got in this one, Casino?
Oh man, dude, the line is only -1 for the Bills.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know it's in Houston. Oh man, I know it's in Houston, but I'm gonna go the Bills. I think they have to have their redemption. Like it's just a redemption game. The Texans already had their bounce back game. Like this is a redemption game for the Bills. They have to. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. It's gonna be pretty close. And oh man, the total is high. They're expected to be 47.5, which I think it's
Ooh,
fairly high. Yeah. I'm going to go 24-20 Buffalo.
24-20 Buffalo.
I
Uh,
like this matchup. This is going to be a fun one. I I,
uh,
I
is
love the
this your best
Texans.
game of the week?
This is the game that I'm most excited for. Yes.
So far we have same blowout of the week, same best game of the week, because I also think this is going to be the best game of the week. I thought this is the game we would differ on, but I'm also going Bills
Why did you
basically
think
for
I
the
would differ on this, huh?
because I
Just
thought you would
because
Texans.
yeah, the CJ Stroud hype, and I
Yeah.
still think he's, MVP. It's early, he's definitely turned things around, but No, I do like the Texans, even though they're probably going to lose this game, and they'll go they're 3-2, but I mean that's still better. That's still a good record.
Yeah.
Losing to the Bills there, so I'm not mad. This is gonna be a
Uh,
fun game.
yeah, I picked the Bills as well. I picked this to be the best game. I actually had this game going 35-28. I
No,
think this is
that's
gonna
a
be
high
the
scoring.
highest scoring game of the week. I think, Josh Allen just won player of the month for September. He has
Rightfully
69
so.
nice
Nice.
completion percentage, 814 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, and then also 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. The no interceptions thing is huge because you take away all the turnovers from Hurts, and he's having an MVP season. That's basically what Josh Allen was, right? He was a turnover machine that also put up great numbers. CJ Stroud, on the other hand, 67% completion percentage, over 1,000 yards, 1,054, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So
That's good.
yeah, not bad. But the Texans, I mean, you look at them, eighth in the league in offense, fifth in the league in defense. So they are hands down one of
Yeah.
the best 5 teams
I
in the
mean, and
league.
and the
But
team they lost to and they got whomped to was the Vikings. Like,
yes,
there you go, an
which
undefeated Vikings. So, I mean,
which was
all their other games have been real close. All their games have been within a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, are they outstanding? No, but have they been getting the job done? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be underrated just based on, or I think they might be overrated based on what we thought they would be in the preseason, but overrated as to how we talk about them now. Because I still have no faith in this Texans team yet, even though every week they play pretty good football, but I don't know. I just can't get on the Texans bandwagon, even though I like the Texans. I have nothing against the Texans. But next up, Casino. So both of us are picking the Bills on that one. Next up, we get to the mid matchups. Our first one is the Ravens at the Bengals. 2-2 Ravens against, or playing in Cincinnati against the 1-3 Bengals. Who you got, Casino?
I've got the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like they're hitting their stride. I still think Joe Burrow plays a pretty good game here. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the week. In my record, I really like the Ravens. I think, yeah, I think that running game is finally getting going. I think that's everybody's kind of on the same page here. Finally, took them a minute. I think barely losing to Kansas City in week one just threw them off for week two, and then they've got their head back together. Um, but yeah, Baltimore's favored 2.5 here, and
That seems
I
low.
that does seem low. I agree. I mean, it probably has to do with. I mean, it is Cincinnati in Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow is playing better. So that's where I think there. But I do have this being a really high scoring game. I'm going to go 35-24.
Ooh, so no, I was looking at the other one. I also have Ravens. You said, I'm sorry, what was your score?
35-24. Because I think Joey B will put up some numbers, but I think the Ravens are just going to put way too much pressure on them with that running game.
Yeah, I also had the Ravens. I had this game going 27-14. I just think when you look at on paper, I mean, the number one offense in the league is the Ravens currently. They're 16th in the league in passing, number one in rushing, obviously with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I mean, Lamar Jackson already this season has over 300 yards rushing, which is, I mean, better than most teams' running backs.
Yeah.
And then Derrick Henry already is almost at 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Joey B, on the other hand, his team record might not show it, but he's back. His completion percentage is 71%. He has almost 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like, and some of the throws and stuff he's making in games, like, he looks good, especially in the Chiefs game. That was the he's back moment because he
Oh yeah.
was fantastic in that
Well,
Chiefs game.
he's always fantastic against the Chiefs.
Yeah. And that seemed to be the launching point for them. They finally got their first win last week. I would not be shocked if the Bengals won this game, especially because it's in Cincinnati against a division rival. But right now, I'm picking the Ravens as well. But I don't know if I'm ready to put the stake in the Bengals casino. I still
Dude,
think
starting off
there's
0-3, that is tough. Dude, uh, that's
yeah.
tough. I'm gonna look up when the
Well,
last time an 0-3 team made it to the playoffs.
also their schedule so far this year has been brutal, and I think it gets more brutal. You can look that up. I'll look up their schedule. I think we talked about this when we were just doing our picks last week, but their schedule, I mean, they play the Ravens, then they play the Giants on Sunday Night Football, which Bengals Giants Sunday night, that's a weird matchup. But then they go Browns, Eagles, Raiders, and then
So the
Ravens,
So the most
Chargers.
sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. So the most recent team to start 0-3 and make the playoffs was the 2018 Houston Texans. They were 0-3. They finished 11-5, won the AFC South, lost in the wild card round. Before that, though, it was 1998 with the Buffalo Bills, and then 95, 92, 81, 80, 82, 81. So
Hmm.
there's only been
So it rarely
only
happens.
in 6 teams in NFL history since 1979, I'll call it that. 6 teams have overcome a 0-3 start to make the postseason.
I
Yeah.
mean, right now, how many teams get into the playoffs? 7? It's 7, right, in each conference?
Yes. And there's only one team to ever go 0-4 and make the playoffs. Just fun note, and that was the '92 Chargers.
Oh, there you go. Casino's fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you honestly look at the AFC standings right now, really in the AFC North, you have Steelers, Ravens. In the AFC East, you have Bills, Jets. Then the other ones, you have Texans, you have Chiefs, Chargers. That's 7 right there. I mean, all the Bengals have to do is just get one more win than one of those teams, right? So one more win than the Jets, one more win than the Chargers, one more win than the Ravens or Steelers, and they're in. It's not crazy. I mean, I don't think it'll happen, but it's not crazy. But let's move on to the next game, Casino, and that is the Sunday night game for this week, and that is Cowboys at Steelers. 2-2 Cowboys at the show's team, the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. We're fully on the Steelers bandwagon, which means they'll get annihilated in
I'm
this
not
game.
fully no. Let's rephrase. I'm not fully on the Steelers bandwagon here. I'm not. I'm just every time I pick against them, except for the Broncos, I did have the Steelers in that one, I believe. But outside of that, I'm always gonna it just sucks. Every time I pick the Steelers to win, they lose. Every time, yeah, vice versa. So
Yeah.
uh do I do the reverse jinx and say the Cowboys are gonna win? Do I? Do I? Do I? No, I don't. No, I don't. Because the Steelers are going to bounce back. I like everything I've been seeing about their starting quarterback and the starting quarterback for the future for that team. That yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna roll with the Steelers here. I am
And
going with the Justin Fields. I'm on the Justin Fields train. I'm all for it. Let's go.
and
Yep.
what are you picking? What's your
Oh,
score?
score? Ooh, fuck a duck. What's your score? Go, you've picked first.
I pick Steelers and I put 27-14.
Let's go 21-14.
21-14 for
But
Casino.
Steelers.
He picked Steelers. Now this will be the story, much like every Cowboys game this season. Cowboys currently ranked 32nd in the league in rushing, so dead last. Ezekiel Elliott has 81 yards on the season. Dottle has 134 yards on the season. Again, we are approaching week 5, and they
This is
don't
week
have a
5, yes.
running back over 200 yards, which is concerning. Dak Prescott, however, is the entire basically offense. He's 4th in the league in
You know
passing
what? I will
yards.
say this though. He's trying to earn the money that he just got paid.
Yeah,
He's doing everything he can.
and basically he has to. I mean,
Yeah,
they are 2-2. The 2 games they lost is because he couldn't do anything in those games. So, he on the season has 64% completion percentage, over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Fields, on the other hand, 71% completion percentage, which is crazy for Justin Fields, who currently at the moment has more rushing yards than the Cowboys offense, which is great. Just himself, not even counting Najee Harris. But Justin Fields, 145 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. He also has thrown for 830 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. This basically is just going to come down to me for the Steelers have the 4th ranked defense in the league, and they are playing a team that is the most one-dimensional team in the league that can't run the ball to save their lives. So all their game plan has to be all week is how do we cover CeeDee Lamb and then we win the game, right?
pretty
Like
much. Yeah.
that's it.
I mean,
So
that was
I'm
one of Belichick's like favorite things to say. I'm not going to let your best player beat us. Like that.
yeah.
Just find somebody else.
So, I mean, this is again when you play this Cowboys team this season, you literally just have to stop CeeDee Lamb and then just be like, all right, either beat us with the running attack or Dak beat us by throwing to anybody else. And
You
that's
just
why the
double them,
Cowboys are
double
two and
them.
two.
Yeah, double them the whole game. That's it.
And the Steelers are also have the 8th ranked pass defense in the league. So
Got it.
they've
How
only
how many
allowed
sacks do you think TJ Watt's going to get? This could be a fun
uh
little side thing. I mean, he's got 3 sacks on the season right now.
I think he gets 2 in this game. 2.
Dude, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Damn it. That's
Uh,
that's where I'm at.
but
You
yeah,
know
this.
what? I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say he's going to go off. He's going to get 3 sacks this game.
Ooh, that's impressive. That would be impressive.
He's been impressive.
Yeah. But also, last little note on this game: the Steelers so far this season have only allowed 5 touchdowns the entire season. So they're allowing 1 touchdown a week coming
Mm.
into this game.
Yeah, if
But
he want
yeah,
if TJ if he wants to catch up to his last year's sack count, which was 19, he needs to pick it up. He needs to pick it up.
I'm sure he'll use this as motivation, Casino.
Good.
But next up, we got more mid games, Casino.
Ugh,
That this
so many.
is the Monday night game. We just talked about the
Such a
Sunday night
midweek.
game. The 2-2 Saints at the 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Thoughts, Casino?
Why are we even debating this? Like, I mean, 28-21 Chiefs. Everybody's going to think the Saints are going to have a chance, and then something's going to happen, and Chiefs are going to win. So, 28-21. 28-21. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, I know Rashid Rice is out, which is nerve wracking for the Chiefs, I'm sure. But they'll find a way. They'll find a way. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't want to waste any more breath on this fucking Kansas City Chiefs team.
Yeah, Rashid Rice, their leading wide receiver, was placed on IR today, so he's out for the season. Mahomes on the year, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, having by far his worst year in the league so far. Derek Carr, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Again, this Saints team hasn't really done anything since those first 2 weeks where they put up 40 back-to-back and everybody thought they were the best offense in the league,
Well, they were
myself
playing the
included.
Bryce Young led Panthers,
Yeah, exactly.
which kept the Panthers defense on that field and tired them out.
And then they lost to my Eagles, which now looks like just embarrassing. So, yeah. But Kamara still having this a great bounce back season. But I agree with you, Casino. The Chiefs have done nothing really impressive this season. They're basically dead in the middle on almost every category, but somehow they're 4-0. Somehow every game you play with them is close. So I think this game's also going to be close.
So for me, all these mid games that list that you put in there for the mid games, it's because I want to see one team and how they respond. Pretty much, that's it.
Yeah, and that's what mid means. You're interested in half of the teams playing. So yeah, I'm picking Chiefs as well, 21-17. Just like you said, it's going to come down to a fourth quarter where you're like, maybe the Saints have it. Oh, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Uh,
But let's move on to a matchup between the Browns and Casinos Commanders. Uh,
let's go.
1-3 Browns at 3-1 Commanders. I only put this in mid matchup because Casino is basking in the glory of his Commanders pick. If
Oh,
it
this
is an
needs to be this. Of course, this needs to be a mid, dude. They're winning the division. They have a
yeah,
potential of going 4-1. Like, I'm
how crazy would this podcast be if the NFC Championship game is Vikings Commanders? I mean, we would just we'd do a whole victory lap episode.
dude,
we would
big dick victory laps, man. Big dick victory laps. Just
um, but as you
who
said,
was your pick for MVP for the season again?
uh, who did we
It
pick?
wasn't. I mean, I know who I picked. I mean, it was Justin. It was
Wait, talk.
yeah. So my pick for was CJ Stroud, but rookie of the year I picked was Jaden Daniels. So I know that yours wasn't Sam Darnold. I know that, but I mean, how fun that would have that been if that ended up happening, and then you picked Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold was MVP. We have rookie of the year playing off, and we might as well just submit that clip if that happened into every big sports media to be like, hey, we called this, fucking hire us, let's go.
I picked my MVP to be Mahomes.
Okay, well,
So
even
I lost
Mahomes
that
will
one.
win it. Let's just call it that he wins it. But it is, what if it is the Vikings versus the Commanders? You and I should both, we should put in a clip. We should be like, hey, we call these two teams being upsets when nobody thought so. Let's fucking go. But no, I do have the Commanders on this one, which to my surprise, it's only -3 for the Commanders against the Browns. I know the Browns defense is fairly all right, but that offense is just gross. I think the Commanders eat them up. I think Jaden Daniels has another really good game. I am going to go. I'm going to go 24-7. Actually,
Ooh,
I
we
don't have
almost
any. I don't have any faith in this Browns offense.
no, I picked 24-10. So we are very close in our scores of what we think this is going to be. Again, I agree with everything you said. This is going to be basically this is in mid, and we discussed this. This is in mid because of how good the Browns defense is and what we want to see what this Commanders team can do against it. I mean, the season Jaden Daniels is having so far, he has 218 yards rushing, 4 rushing touchdowns, an 82% completion percentage, which is
Yeah,
astronomical for a rookie.
that's so
Uh,
good.
that's good for literally anybody in the league, but especially a rookie, that is unbelievable. He has
Again, he's
900
protect. Yes,
yards.
he's got the one interception, but he is protecting the football. I mean, his fucking passer rating is 107, man. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I love
and
it.
making really, really smart decisions.
Yeah,
So,
he's
uh,
he's not turning over the ball.
no, but again, he runs too much, but I just think that's because the Washington Commanders offensive line is bad.
Yeah,
They're
he has to scramble.
Yeah, they're third in the league in rushing, 12th in the league in passing, sixth total offense. Again, the only thing I fear about this Commanders team is they're 27th in the league in defense. So their defense will hold this team back. They're really bad, especially against, I believe it's against the run, is their 23rd in the league. And then the passing attack, they're 22nd in the league. So they're bottom
They have,
half of the league against the pass and run.
they have time to shape up. It's fine. I'm not worried.
Yeah, that's
I'm not worried.
again, this technically week 5 is the week where now the real NFL starts because nobody plays in preseason. So we had 4
I
weeks
mean,
of
but then again,
preseason.
they played the Cardinals in Arizona. They played the Bengals in Cincinnati. They played the Giants, who's got a better defense than most people think. And then they played the Bucks. Like, this team's
Yeah,
this team's good. I mean, those are
they,
some good teams that we're talking about here.
especially to play them all on the road, basically.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, Yeah. Next up, Casino, let's go to the Cardinals at the 49ers. The Cardinals 1-3, but fun to watch. The San Francisco 49ers, just everyone in this team is injured, except they're still 2-2 and top. They have the second ranked offense, ninth ranked defense, second in
But
the
yet
league in
Brock
passing.
Purdy is just so bad.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this season has really been the nail in the coffin for the Brock Purdy
It
doubters
has to be, man.
because he's doing this with Mason and Jennings as his two number one options for rushing and receiving. Everybody else is injured or not doing anything. And he has 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 69%, nice
Nice.
completion percentage, and 1,130 yards passing. So, and that's again where he's had one game this season with all of his parts. So,
You
whoa, where's my thing getting all? There you
said
go.
parts.
But who you picking in this one, Casino? Obviously, Cardinals top 5 rushing attack in the league,
Yeah.
25th in the league in defense and passing. So rough,
Rough.
rough.
They have the Niners -7 on this. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think it's probably going to be about a 10-point game, roughly. Um, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 30-20.
We are oddly similar on our scores today. I put 34-24 with the 49ers winning. I just think even though I hate the 49ers, they're my second most hated team in the league. I still root for Brock Purdy to prove everyone wrong. So far this season, he has been, and he's been putting on.
At least in our opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody can still spin it because they're 2-2, but I don't know what more you want from the guy. But yeah, and then as far as Kyler Murray goes, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's almost 70% completion
He's
percentage,
playing pretty good,
700.
man. He's keeping his team in the game. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
But again, the issue, much like the Commanders, except it's opposite, where they're 3-1 and the Cardinals are 1-3. It's just their defense is going to hold them back, which is concerning considering your head coach is a defensive coordinator and got hired for taking a team's defense to the Super Bowl. Again, team's defense in the Super Bowl who didn't stop an offense
We,
once, but
we know. We know. We know.
uh,
We know.
uh,
We know.
I like see, and that's the thing. I've always liked the Cardinals, but I hate Murr from Impractical Jokers as their head coach so much that I don't want him to succeed because he cost my team a Super Bowl. Next up, Casino Packers at Rams. 2-2 Packers at 1-3 Rams. This one is basically a mid because I want to see what the Rams team is, and I want to see if the Packers can have a bounce back game after that Vikings loss last week. So
Again, loss against the Vikings.
yeah,
That's not a bad loss whatsoever. I just want to see if Jordan Love can actually come back out and play. I mean, last game, I mean, hell, he threw a shit ton. First off, I felt really bad for him on that. But you know, I am still going to pick the Packers in this, but with I'm worried with how well they played against the Vikings and still lost. I know that the Rams don't have anybody. Um, with that being said, I am going to go the Packers. I think this is somewhat of a lower scoring affair. I'm, yeah, sadly, I'm going with the lower scoring. I'm going to go 24-10 Packers.
24-10 Packers. I picked Packers 27-17, and I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think
I mean, you can always elaborate more on it, but
yeah. I am scared of we've seen so many quarterbacks come back from injury in the middle of the season. Not even this has been the beginning of the season. And then that injury kind of lingers with them throughout the rest of the season. So I am scared for Jordan Love that that's the case. Not having the best season as it has been, even though it has been injury plagued, as we just said. 55% completion percentage, 649 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. On the other hand, Stafford also not breaking any records this season. 68% completion percentage, 978 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But again, how much can you really blame the guy when his entire offense is basically injured? And the Rams right now have the 31st worst defense in the league, 28th worst rushing attack. So basically, they're the Cowboys where but they're the Cowboys without a CeeDee Lamb because both Stafford's number one weapons are gone. So basically, the game has to rely on Stafford's arm, throw into Tutu Atwell and a bunch of rookies, and then they have no rushing attack, no defense. So as for the Packers, I mean, third in the league in offense, 20th defense, seventh passing,
I mean,
second
this
rushing.
is by far, in my opinion, by far the best division in football was the NFC North.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, the Vikings,
100%.
the Vikings, Lions, and Packers. I mean, I know the Packers are actually sitting last right now because they're tied with the Bears at 2-2. Um, however, the Bears just have a good defense, so I believe in the Packers way more to surpass them and go on a streak here.
Well, yeah, and the Bears being 2-2 and probably the worst team in that division still feel like they could beat anybody with how good their defense is.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's probably the best defense or the best division this season. But yeah, we're both going with the Packers, even though I wish the best Matthew Stafford. Next up, Casino, our last mid matchup, and that is the Giants at the Seahawks. 1-3
Yeah.
Giants at 3-1
And,
Seattle.
and this one you put in miserable, but I'm like,
I did.
dude, the Seahawks are winning their division currently. If they even with the Niners winning, if they win again, like the Seahawks are favored by 6.5. I mean, how is this not another W for the Seahawks? I mean, the Giants defense has looked good, but I mean, against Geno Smith right now, who's absolutely just on fire. I'm taking the Seahawks, and this is why I wanted it to be a mid, is because I want to see Geno Smith eat up this Giants defense, who's somewhat good, as the only good thing about them. And I just want to see Geno continue to cook. I want to see the DK Metcalf resurgence that he's had all season. I love what he's been doing. So yeah, I'm really happy that you moved this up and in. I mean, Geno's had a really good. He's already over 1,000 yards.
Well,
He,
he's leading the number 1 passing attack in the entire league.
yeah,
He
I mean
almost has
he does have
1,200 yards.
right.
Yeah.
He does have 4 interceptions, though, to his 4 touchdowns. So he's 50-50 there. I mean, but one of my favorite seasons of all time was Jameis Winston with that 30-30, which was just so much. Um, but I mean, his completion rating 72.5, which is great. Rating not over 90. So I like Geno. I think he's going to put up some numbers against this Giants team. I'm going to call it actually 28-14.
28-14. I also picked the Seahawks on this one. I don't think we've had a different
No, we
pick this
haven't.
week.
No. And you know what?
Ugh,
That's your fault. I'm picking first too. So this is your
that's not
fault.
true. Mine are already written down. I already wrote mine down.
Okay.
But you put 28-14. My Seahawks pick was 35-20. I think there's so much talk, especially between us, about how good the Giants defense is. I really think the
It's not
Seahawks,
amazing. It's not amazing.
it's
It's
12th
good.
in the league. So it's
It's good.
almost average.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's not amazing.
But I do think this is a statement win by the Seahawks, especially
Mhm.
coming off that Monday night loss on a short week. You would expect them.
This is going to be the dick slap across the Niners' face to be like, hey, you
Yeah,
better get some
we're
healthy
good.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think, especially based on the Geno Smith Seahawks we've seen in the past couple of years, their defense right now is ranked 8th in the league. So he finally has a good defense, 5th in the league in total offense. So right now, Seahawks, I feel like they might be the most underrated team in the league because nobody
I
talks
would
about
say
them.
so. Yeah, I would definitely say so.
They have a top 5 and a top 10 defense across the board. Now, their rushing isn't anything to write home about, but they still have 2 competent running backs. So, yeah, Seahawks. Uh, shockingly good this season. Now we move on, Casino, to the miserable matchups. We have one, two, three, four miserable matchups to end this week. Let's start first with Panthers at Bears.
Meh, meh. I mean, this is going to be to me, this is the best of the miserable mashups.
This is
Matchups.
almost a mid matchup.
Yes.
Almost a mid.
And the reason being is because I love the Andy Dalton. Dude, that Red Rocket, he's coming out hot, man. He's coming out hot. Um, red hot. But I do like the Chicago Bears defense. We finally saw a decent, let me refer, we saw a decent game from Caleb Williams last week. So we'll see that he could be a little bit better. But I'm still gonna stay on trend with how I feel. I don't like the Panthers. I'm gonna go with Bears. I don't really have, dude, it sucks because I don't have a true upset pick this week.
I don't
And
either.
that's making like I'm following. I mean, let me see here. No, go. No, that's the same. That's the same. No, because they're expected to win. Um, yeah. So I have the Bears. They are -4. Uh, I feel like this is gonna be a lower scoring game. I have it. And it's pretty close too. I think the -4 of this one is, I feel like, on brand. I'm gonna go 21-17.
Ooh, very close to what I picked. I picked 20-16. So we're literally 1 point off each side. But yeah, I picked the Bears as well. This basically will just come down to the Bears defense shutting down that
Man,
Panthers offense. Panthers
shutting down.
offense not
Let's get
being
real.
able to
Shutting
score.
down the one and only thing on the Panthers offense,
Yeah.
Mr. Red Rocket himself.
Yeah. And then still again, the Bears offense, 30th in the league, 26th in the league in passing, 29th in
It's
the
so
league in
bad.
rushing. They have no offense whatsoever. The Panthers aren't much better, but at least with Andy Dalton, you have, I mean, since he stepped in, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I mean,
He's not playing bad.
this would be the game where I could see the other team winning.
Yeah,
That's it.
I could also see a Panthers upset, quote unquote, in this game, but I still am picking the Bears to squeak out a victory just based on their defense alone. Next up, Casino, Dolphins at your Patriots, and technically this is my upset of the week. I'm picking your Patriots.
Actually, the Patriots are -1.
Oh, so then much like you, I have no upset of the week this
Yeah,
week.
because I'm gonna go Patriots as well. I mean, I 100%. I did not like the quarterback play from Miami last week. So, um, yeah, I'm just Patriots. I mean, this is gonna be a really bad game. I think this is my lowest scoring game of the week for sure.
Is this your
Uh,
pick for worst game of the week?
yeah, yeah, it is.
It's not mine. Mine's coming up.
uh,
But what do you have
14,
for?
14-10
Oh,
Patriots.
I picked 17-10 Patriots. So very close. But yeah, I mean, what could be said about this game? The Dolphins, turns out the Dolphins are really good when they have Tua, and then when Tua's not in there, they fall apart because
I,
I've
I
been
love
told.
all the gifs and all the memes. My favorite one is, have you seen the? I mean, this is no disrespect, but have you seen the one where is the kid in the wheelchair being wheeled out for, like, it was a really great moment for that kid and that high school, wheeling him out, and like they got him the ball and they brought him to the end zone. Both teams were in on it. It was really heartwarming and great. But the caption was them rolling Dolphins rolling out Tua after last week's performance by the Dolphins, and I was just like, oof, oof.
I
I mean,
love the one
I
you
work.
sent me where he was Ace Ventura and he's doing the blue 42 and he like does the jump over the that was funny.
Yeah, no, that one's a great one when he's in the tutu.
Yeah.
That's a great reference. I love that one. In all jokes aside, I feel bad for Tua. I know it's his decision. I know he's the one deciding, and like the Dolphins have basically straight up said this is his decision.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm nervous for the guy, man. I truly
But see, I
am.
feel like that's why you can't feel too bad for him because he's been giving all the warning signs. It's happened more than once. Everybody knows what he should do, but he still wants to keep playing. So I feel like you can still feel bad for him, but in terms of feeling bad for him, you can't if you would feel you would have the right to feel bad for him if it was like forced upon him, but they're giving him the choice and he's basically like, nah, I'm still gonna try. So I mean, at a certain point, it's on your shoulders. But still, with this game specifically, your Patriots 32nd in the league in total offense. They have the 12th rushing attack in the league, 32nd in the league of passing. So you wonder, especially at 1-3, why not just throw Drake May in there and just he literally just has to do better than worst. So he's as long as he's better than worst, he would be better than the 32nd in the league in passing. But Dolphins still have 6th ranked defense, but passing and rushing this year have really fallen off 23rd and 24th. This feels like a give the ball to A-Chain 50 times and just see if he can beat your Patriots. But
And then vice versa, just give the ball to Ramondre Stevenson, who I
yeah,
still think is a really good back. I really do. He's just on a shitty team. I mean, his rookie year, he went and ran for over 1,000 yards. I mean,
yeah.
he's a good back. He's just got nobody in front of him. He's just horrible offense.
I was just saying when you stepped away, I don't know why your team just hasn't given the keys to the car to Drake May and just said,
I have
just
no
have
idea.
at it.
It's
They're the
blowing
32nd
my
ranked
mind.
passing attack in the league. He has to
I
be
mean,
better than
so
worst.
far, I like Gerard Mayo as the coach. You know, first season, he's got a bad team. He knows that. You know, he's got some working to do. But this decision not to put in Drake May when you know you're going to be the worst team in the season, why not?
Yeah.
Get him some reps. Let's go.
Yeah. Makes no sense. But next up, Casino, our last two games, and then we'll get out of here. Colts at Jaguars. Jaguars 0-4, Colts 2-2. I believe this is still the Joe Flacco show. So that'll be the interesting thing coming out of this game, because I believe Anthony Richardson is out for this game. He's playing Trevor Lawrence, who 4-1 on the season, almost 53% completion percentage. So
I want you to go first on this one because I got a take.
I pick the Colts 27-21 because I believe way more in Joe Flacco than I do current day Trevor Lawrence.
Damn you.
Did you pick Colts?
I did. So technically, this is my upset of the week.
Oh, then we have the same upset of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hoping that you were
The
going to go with
Jaguars are favored?
-3.
How in the hell are they favored?
I don't know, but I totally agree with what you were saying. I'm no matter how much our last year's MVP, Trevor Lawrence, God damn it. What were we smoking last year, bro? I have no idea. But I want to see Joe Flacco go out and do it. I do.
Yeah,
I want to see the 39-year-old man, because that makes me feel good because it's like I still have 5 years to make the NFL. So yeah, there's time. There's time.
Apparently, as of a day ago, the latest news is that Anthony Richardson is dealing with a bad hip. So he might be a last minute out. And it looks, by all accounts, that Flacco's in. So it does look like it's Flacco in this game. But yeah, I don't know what happened with the Jaguars. They're the 25th in total offense this year, 30th in defense. So
I think the team's given up on Trevor Lawrence.
I think they've given up on Doug Peterson. I mean,
well, yes, in my opinion, that's definitely a given. But I mean, he was the quarterback of the future, man. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. And just nothing. And I'm so tired of
By the way, hold on. Speaking of Ace Ventura, when nature calls, I know we were talking about Pet Detective, but my daughter wanted to watch that Boss Baby movie because she's just obsessed with like babies and all the things.
Both my kids love that movie.
Well, I just watched the part where the two kids just come out of the big
Safari,
the butt portion of the balloon, and I'm like, Ace Ventura.
When nature calls.
Well,
when nature calls.
That was so great.
Worse movie than Pet Detective, but makes me laugh harder. There is some really funny shit.
Oh yeah, no.
When nature calls.
Pet Detective was a much better written movie. I mean, it's outstandingly written. I love that movie. but when nature calls,
funnier.
Yeah, funnier. Like I still quote the whole Simon Says thing The Chicago. Like,
Oh, it's great stuff. Great stuff. But last of our speaking of not great stuff, and my pick for worst game of the week, Casino, Raiders at Broncos. 2-2 Raiders at 2-2 Broncos. I cannot believe both these teams are 2-2. I mean, last week we saw the Broncos and Jets have the worst game, like you said, of the century. And now we're going to watch the Raiders and Broncos. I picked this game to be 14-10. I almost picked it to be 10-7. Also, what was your score for the Colts Jaguars game?
I don't think I picked it. Colts, Jaguars, 24-17.
Okay. And then what's your pick for the Raiders and Broncos?
14-10.
14-10. Oh, you're just copying daddy over here. Copying daddy.
But who do you got?
I'm picking the Raiders.
Then I'm going to pick the Broncos. Let's go.
Oh shit. So we can finally have our last game of the day is different.
Let's go.
And
you know what? This one is not my most miserable game. It's going to be Hey, hold on, honey. You've been really good this entire time. Thank you for saying with your manners. But the only reason I like this game as not the worst is this is a good rivalry game.
Yeah. That is in division. That might save it, but only good thing in this game, basically, I don't think Devontae Adams is going to be playing this game because he's made it known all week that he basically wants out of Las Vegas. Ironically, the only two places he said he wants to play are either in New Orleans with Derek Carr or in New York with Aaron Rodgers, the two quarterbacks he's played with in the past. So no shocker there, but this season, I mean, Bo Nix might be the worst quarterback in the league. He has a 60% completion percentage, 660 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Also has 2 rushing touchdowns. But
he ain't no Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. And when you watch him play, he doesn't appear to be the worst quarterback. I still think there's other ones that I.
And by the way, all the receivers that came out of this draft, like, there's been like no talk about him. So
except outside of Malik Neighbors, he's like the.
Neighbors is now, but Neighbors is now gone with concussion.
Well, and then remember the only one really was Marvin Harrison Jr. that 1 week where he had 2 touchdowns and everybody was like, he's finally on the map.
In week 2, yeah, when everybody was like, why are they throwing him the football?
Yeah.
But I feel bad for Neighbors because he was good. And that Giants game against the Cowboys, like, did you watch how he hit his head though?
No, I did not see that.
Like he went for it wholeheartedly, and there was Dallas players that were like, good try to him because, Michaela, you got to go potty.
On that note, Casino, nothing really to say on this game.
Run.
Nothing to write home about except that the Broncos currently have the second best defense in the league. So that's impressive, but too bad their offense is 27th. So Raiders, on the other hand, 24th offense, 21st defense. Both these teams 2-2. I have no idea how, but also my Eagles are 2-2, so I have no room to talk. This is the end of the podcast, Casino.
That's perfect timing because now I just have to go help my daughter.
Anything else to say before we get out of here?
Fuck big old dresses. So my daughter has one of the big old princess dresses on, and there's just no way she'd be able to use a restroom by herself. So she just starts running to the restroom. Like, great job. She's doing great. And then I'm just like, no, come back here. And she's like, why? And I'm like, I have to help take off this dress because it is like dragging on the ground. Like, hurry up, get over here.
Now you know how all your girlfriends in high school felt about you. Because remember how you went through that wear dresses phase?
Yeah, no.
This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We will see you on Sunday for the solo show, and then we'll be back here Tuesday where we'll debut a new segment, Casino, our power rankings. So yeah, great week of football ahead.
I'm still upset you need to find time. I know that you don't have any time, but man, when you were doing those pictures, it really made me laugh.
I know. I almost did it this week, but again, I didn't have time.
It's okay. But it's okay.
Send me a theme.
I know.
I will do it for next Thursday.
I'll send you pictures and a theme. I'll help you out.
Oh shit! Okay. This has been the Only Sports Podcast.
I'll pick the theme and I'll send you the pictures, and you just have to put them together in the slide.
That's great. I would love that. This has been
Man, I
the
have to
Only
do
Sports
work for the
Podcast.
show. Shit.
I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Adios.
Bye.